I show you how you can get this look, I am going to be talking about a new brand product. Basically, Canvas Cosmetics has come up with 15 shades, and yeah, it's called the Nairobi edition. I'll actually link their page, and I believe they have a website that is ready to order from as well, but regardless, I'll still link that. And yeah, have a look. Definitely, like, the shades, the colors are just so amazing, and it's available here in Nairobi, which is really impressive, I must say. If you want to know how you can get this look, then please keep watching. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, today has been a very lazy day, and I basically thought that this is the perfect opportunity to do a 0 to 100 makeup look. So it's basically a get ready with me and how I would do my makeup for an event from a day of just chilling and relaxing. Without further ado, let's get started. I've been becoming very dry on my face, especially around like my forehead area. I don't know what it is. It has been really cold recently, so I think it's just the weather that's really been affecting my skin. Today I'm gonna try this L'Oreal Hydra Genius Aloe Water cream. This is basically supposed to really hydrate. It's a hydrating moisturizer, so that's the first thing I am going to do. It does feel really like serum-y. This is actually the first time I'm using it, by the way, and it does smell amazing. It smells like, I don't know, it's like perfumed almost. Yeah, it seems to be really nicely soaking into the skin, actually really quickly. This is actually faster, it's soaking in faster in my skin than the Tarte H2O1 that I normally use. The next thing I'm going to use is an eye cream, and I'm going to use the Olay Eye Ultimate eye cream, and this is actually highly recommended by my sister. It's like a peachy color almost, so I'm assuming it will also color correct, which is great if it can do 2-in-1. Next thing I'm going to do is to use my MAC strobe cream, and I obviously still want a dewy finish. I don't want it to be too matte. Yeah, just with the cold and the weather, like, I just want to be glowy and dewy. This is in the shade Red Light, and I'm just gonna put a bit, just the high points mainly I'm gonna concentrate it on, and I'm gonna put a really nice generous amount on my T-zone area, because that's where I'm getting really dry patches. Okay, so now that we are nice and hydrated, I'm gonna sort of let that soak in. We'll jump straight into the eyes. I'm going to first prime my eyes with this Urban Decay eyeshadow primer portion in the shade Eden. I love using this eyeshadow primer because it is so nice and tacky, and I feel like it just makes my eyeshadow stay on really long throughout the day, or if I'm using it for an event or anything like that, it just stays. Just gonna go around my eye as well, just the under eye with it. It blends really nicely into the skin. It's not hard to work with at all. So today I'm actually gonna use this Dominique palette. This is the Latte palette, and the shades are just so gorgeous and so nice and creamy. And yeah, I'm excited to actually try out different looks with this palette. Yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is using this vanilla cream shade. I'm gonna use this to set the eyeshadow primer. Like, it's always good to set an eyeshadow primer, because even if it's tacky, the more tackier it is, even though it's a good thing, it's harder to blend, and you're just going to spend more time blending the shadow on your eye. So you want to set it with a powder. The powder that you set it with will make it really easy for you to blend the eyeshadow. So I'm putting a nice generous, the road is so noisy. So I'm putting a nice generous amount of this, and also it will make the primer last longer on your eyes if you set it. Next I'm gonna take the shade Caramel as my transition, whoa, I can't speak today, transition shade, and I'm just gonna focus this on my crease line, so your socket line, and bringing it more inwards towards the lid and the outer corner, and just almost creating like a halo effect, but not really at the same time. Yeah, the majority of the shade I want in the crease line, and I'm bringing it down to the inner corner as well. I've started doing this where I put the transition shade in this corner here, so it kind of gives a more contoured effect to the eye, and it sort of just deepens, well, with my eye shape it just deepens the crease line really nicely. So I'm just going to deepen the crease line color a little tiny bit more. So I'm going to use, with the same blending brush, I'm going to use the shade Pumpkin Spice. It's just a darker shade from the Caramel. And I'm just going to focus this mainly in the middle of my crease line to just deepen and make it look more like, I'm just kind of adding more depth to my eye. Now using a smaller fluffy brush, I want to now darken my outer corners of the eye. So I'm going to use the shade Hazelnut for the outer corners of the eye, and just create a nice sort of V shape. And I'm just sort of going into the crease line, but just more closer to the outer corner of the eye rather than the whole crease line. Just bring it to the corner of the outer lash line so it can link nicely together. Now with a pencil brush, I'm going to go into this darker shade Mocha, and I'm gonna focus that as almost creating a smoky eye, but just in this outer corner, just literally I'm drawing a V shape, and that is it. I'm not blending it any more than this. I just want that sort of perception that it's like dented almost in my outer corner, just to create obviously more depth, but like a nice transition. It sort of breaks all the warm brown tones with this nice cooling brown shade. So now what I'm going to do is, for the middle of my eye, I do want to still keep with the warm tones, because I am going to do a blue winged liner, so I don't want to do too much in the middle of my eyelid. So I'm going to keep it very neutral and very light. So with a flat brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Pumpkin Spice again, and just use that for the middle and cover up any gaps, and kind of use it to blend everything out and create a nice transition from the warm tones and the dark tones. So now I'm just going to add, actually before I do that, I'm going to now do the wing with the blue liner, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to use this iArt Precision Liquid Eye Color by Sleek. This is in the shade Neo Pop. So let's test this out. I really like that it is a nice thin pen. So I'm just going to now, and it's nice and sort of metallic. line first, bringing it all the way down to the inner corner of the eye. This is so easy to work with. I'm just going to deepen the blue with the blue that's in this palette. It's called Cold Brew, because I don't want it to be too bright. I want it to be a bit of a darker blue. So just with a smaller flat brush, like almost like a lip brush, I'm just going to use this and just set the blue. The lashes I'm wearing today are these House of Lashes. This is in Iconic, and they're just so nice and fluttery. I really love wearing these. I love how it makes my eye shape look as well. It kind of gives me a cat eye, which I really love. What I'm gonna do is actually pop on my lashes, so let me do that and I'll be right back. I like to just then thicken up the liner that I have done, even if it is a normal wing liner, when I put the lashes on, because I like it to show like in between the flutteriness, because when you do it really thin, I mean, you can do it thin, it's a whole different complete look, but for a glam look I really like to make sure that the liner is thick so that it just really pops, especially if that I have done a blue liner. It just pops a lot more. So I'm gonna let that all settle in, and we're gonna go straight into the base of our face now. So what I am going to do is actually spray myself with setting spray first, and I'm actually gonna try out this new, well, I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me, the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. And the good thing about this is when you actually spray it, oh, it's so nice and it comes out so nice and easily, and it doesn't leave you those patches that you normally get when you have to like squirt on normal setting. So what I'm going to do is for my foundation I'm going to mix in these two Fenty shades. One is in the shade 290 and the other is in the shade 310. Now when I first got this I was a shade 290, but I guess being back in Nairobi I've tanned, and luckily I did get two other shades. I got the 310 and the 300. So now I feel the best match for me is when I mix these two together. And what I am actually going to do is use the darker shade for the outer parts of my face and the lighter shades for the inner parts, so it just sort of creates already that sort of highlighting effect, and I feel like that's been working really well for me, rather than mixing the two shades in together like I would normally. So I'm gonna start off with the darker shade. Sorry. And I've already wet my beauty blender, so just with that I'm gonna use it to go all around the outer edges of my face. I really like this foundation. It covers up everything so nicely, like, and it's such a nice thin layer that I am putting on, and it just has amazing coverage. And now with the lighter shade I'm going to use this for the inner parts of my face. Okay, so that has just made a really nice gradient on my face. So now we're going to go into concealing. Now for concealing also I like to mix in different shades. So today I'm going to mix in this Dior Forever Undercover Concealer. This is in the shade 40, and I'm going to mix it in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Sand. So I'm going to first put in the darker shade, which is the Dior one, just literally in the corners of my eye, since that is where I have the most sort of dark circles, so I'm just going to concentrate that there. I feel like when I use a concealer closer to my foundation shade, it doesn't get really ashy then under the dark circles, so that's what I like to do. And I'm just fanning it onto my nose and just bringing it down to my cheeks as well. And with the Tarte Shape Tape, I'm just gonna do dots in like a sort of semicircle around, and sort of more on where I would normally highlight anyway. Just a bit on my forehead, my nose, my chin, and my lips. Now with my damp beauty blender, I'm gonna blend all of this really softly because I don't want to budge any of the other blending that we would have done, and I want to concentrate the concealer in the specific areas that I have put it on. I don't want to drag it out anywhere else, so I'm going really lightly and softly around. And using a beauty blender or any beauty sponge, it really helps keep it intact in that specific area. So what I'm doing is roughly going over everything because I don't want it to also dry in that area where when I'm working on another part of my face, and then when it dries it's just harder to then blend in seamlessly. So I'm just roughly going over everything first, and then I'll concentrate on dabbing it in and making sure everything is just nice and blended. Now for the inner corners of my eyes where some foundation has been left behind, I'm just gonna brush that off, sort of blend it out with a brush, if I can find the brush that I am looking for. Actually, I'm gonna use my fingers just to get the warmth of my fingers going, and I can at least be more precise with my fingers. I'm just gonna make sure everything, there's no creases, and it's just nice and blended. Like, even if the shade is a bit lighter, you can always just go over with your fingers, and just with the warmth of your fingers it just really nicely soaks into your skin. So next thing we're gonna do is bake the areas that we have put concealer on, and then while that bakes, I'm going to then concentrate on contouring and sort of bringing back more warmth to my face. So I'm gonna use this Airspun loose face powder. It's the translucent shade. So just with my beauty blender, whoa, it smells so good. So just put it on the pointy side, and I'm just dabbing it on really lightly in all the areas that we have put concealer. Seamless, I know I look like a freaking ghost right now, but trust me, it will become such a nice flawless finish. And I also don't leave it on for too long either. I just didn't think it would look this white on my face. So I know I look really crazy right now, but don't worry, we've got this. So now it is time to get rid of the bake, and I'm just going to use this really nice, it is supposed to be a blusher brush, but I just use it as a foundation powder brush. And we're just gonna nicely sweep it all away really gently. And with the contouring, we're going to bring everything, all the color back to the face. Is contouring, so this is really gonna add warmth back into my skin. So what I'm gonna do is first use a cream contour shade, which is from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Mocha, and I just like to first warm it up on the back of my hand and then apply it onto my face. So it's just nice and easier. It's just easier to then work with on the face. I'm just gonna put that in the usual areas. So I'm going deeper to the temples and my cheekbones, my forehead, on top of my lip and bottom of my lip, the corners, just to sort of contour my lips too, and then just right under my chin, just create like a semicircle, and then just connecting a bit on the jawline. Then of course my nose. Just blending this out. And I'm sort of swiping it upwards. I first like to just roughly blend it out with the brush before I just make sure everything is nice and seamless with a beauty blender. I'm just gonna make sure everything is nice and seamless looking. I'm just gonna use an angled eyeshadow brush and just use that to blend it all out, and then I'll go over it with a beauty blender. I'm gonna spray my face again with the Morphe setting spray. Is there, so I'm gonna be using the Huda Beauty Winter Highlight Palette. I'm gonna go for Winter Rose to go under my brow bone and highlight my face with the same shade. I'm just gonna lightly put it on all the touch points because it is quite a iridescent color, so I don't really want it everywhere. I am going to be using the Canvas Cosmetics liquid lipsticks. It was so nice of them to actually give me this PR box. So they right now have 15 shades of matte liquid lipstick. So this is actually the Nairobi edition. Today I am actually going to use the color Smooch, if I don't break it. And I broke it. Oops. Sorry, Canvas. It's a really nice deep purple burgundy shade. I really enjoyed making this video for you guys, so thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It will mean a lot to me, and I'll see you in my next video.